Hello, this is Lino Tadros, and I can tell you I'm very excited about this video. This video is very dear to my heart. And it's regarding actually being able to access your own data inside of Sitefinity Insight. So this is something I actually requested from the team, the R&D team and the management team actually at Progress for Sitefinity Insight. The user interface for the portal is excellent. I can actually get whatever I want, but a lot of times based on what I've been doing for the last 8 years of my life is a lot of data analytics, and I also do a lot of artificial intelligence for modeling, clustering, regression, and so on. So I asked them the question, is there a way for me to actually, instead of using the portal, instead of using the user interface that you have built, can I download all my data in any specific format, hopefully in Parquet format, which most data analytics tool like to use, and I can actually bring this into something like Snowflake or Azure Databricks or Databricks in general, or the new Microsoft Fabric, for instance, to be able to manipulate the data, transform the data, curate the data, and then send a portion of that data into my own machine learning models and actually be able to predict on this data and do probably a lot more than what currently is available in the portal itself. And I was very, very pleased and thankful for the team that they have made this feature available already. It is based on request. You just have to send a message to your account executive and say, can you please enable Parquet files for downloading my own data in my subscription for Sitefinity Insight. And once you get the email saying everything is good, you can have access to it using the API as well, which is really awesome. In the future, there might be something in the user interface like a button for you to download it directly, but right now you have to use the API to download these files in Parquet format. And then you can go to something like Databricks and Snowflake and definitely Microsoft Fabric and convert that into Delta Parquet formats with a V-order for the right optimization and being able to go to town with this data. You'll have the context data, you'll have the mapping data, and you will have the interaction every single day available also in the package. So let's go ahead and spend some time seeing how we can actually do that with the API, and let's have some fun. All right, I'm in Postman. If you have not seen my video regarding the introduction to the API of Sitefinity Insight, please take a look at that video to find out how you can get your bearer token from your access key and your subscription itself to Insight. And you will see in the previous video how we get the token, how to post the terms and condition acceptance, and actually get all the data centers. But this is not what we want to do for this video. This video, I would like to actually create maybe a new collection. Let me create a new collection in here. We'll say blank collection in Postman. Again, you can use curl, fiddler, whatever tool you would like. And this one, we'll call it Parquet. All right, we can call it anything you want, of course. And inside of this, add a request in here. I'm actually going to borrow the get token because you cannot do anything really with the Parquet files or get access to the Sitefinity Insight itself without having that bearer token. So if you remember in a previous video, and please watch that if you don't know how to do this, you'll need to do a post to an API. Mine is in the United States, so it will be api.insight.sitefinity.com, or it could be whatever, the Netherlands, there is an NL1, Singapore, and other areas as well. And then you will be pointing to this version 1 for access key, issue access token. You'll be pasting your own access key that you got from your Insight portal. And once you send that, you will get back actually the real bearer token that you can use on all the following calls as well. So in the previous, you notice with the terms and condition, I just called to accept the access terms and conditions, and in the bearer token here in the authorization, I just pasted whatever I got from the previous call. Sounds good? So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and say add a request for the Parquet file. And I'd like to check, for instance, the first one will be about get tracked data. We'll say get tracked data. You can call it anything you want. I'm just going to call it that. And I need a post at this point. Is it a post? No, I don't think it's a post. It's a get. So in Postman, we will not use a post. We're going to use a get. I'm just trying to get all the track data from the system. I'm not posting anything. And the URL will take the form of something like this. It will say, again, the United States based data center in Azure, API, insights, sitefinity.com. Version 3, data centers, and then you'll have to pass an API key, not an API access, not the bearer token, that's going to be different, but we will say exports and track data. So really we need to go get that API key, and that API key is not actually a secret like an access key, because whoever is actually writing code, you will see that in your JavaScript, so it's not a secret. The access key on the other hand is definitely a secret, so you'll have to be careful with that as well. All right, let's go back to inside. There is my inside.sitefinity.com. I'm going to click on administration here on the side. And if we go down, let's do this on the training bus, okay? So I have multiple data centers in here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the training bus data center. And if you go down to API key right there, folks, this is the key. And again, like I said, this is not like the access key, which is a secret. I'm going to say copy that into the clipboard. And now we can go back to Postman and try to use that as well. Okay, so I'm going to actually replace this API key right there with my API key that I got from the site. All right, what else is left? Whatever is left right now is for me to actually pass the access key into the body, or actually use authorization like I did before in the previous video. So I'm going to go to authorization on this one, otherwise I'm going to get an error, unauthorized. I'm going to say please use the bearer token. And in the bearer token in here, I can actually delete this from the previous one. Where do I get it? I get it from the get token from the previous video, which is you call the access token and paste your access key directly the way you got it from your account. I'm going to say send, and that is the new one that comes back. I know it looks very similar. Some people actually, like me, end up using the same access key in the authorization token, and it will not work. So you'll have to make that call first to get the real bearer token. And then if I go back to get track data, notice it will be valid for 1 hour. It expires in 3600 seconds. So I'm going to come back in here and we will paste this guy right there. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we come back when we do exports track data. Let's say SEM unauthorized. All right, let's figure out what we did wrong. All right, I'm not very good at copy and paste apparently. So I went back and you notice I missed the W at the end in here when I copied. So let me go ahead and do another copy in here. We'll say Control C and we will go back to get track data and we'll delete this one and get the correct one. All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead and send it again. Drums rolling and voila, look what comes back. This is very important information, by the way. The last updated on is today. For instance, I'm recording this video on the 7th of June 2024, and you notice you'll have the contact file. It's a Parquet file right there, and there is a mapping file, and there is an interaction for every single day starting yesterday. Tomorrow I'll get the one for today. So there is 6.6, 6.5, 6.2, and whenever there was an interaction, it will create a lot of these files in here one after the other. Isn't that pretty cool, folks? If you have this information, now I can actually make the third and final call, which is to get this specific file to download on my machine. So let's go ahead and copy this in here. And I'm going to just go ahead and copy it into my clip. Oops, no, I don't want to click on that. Let me go back. I'm going to go to the contact one first. I'm going to just want to go ahead and copy this guy. There you go, Control C this. Let me put it in my notepad just in case I need it later on. And I would like to make a call now to just focus on one file. Of course, in real life, you're going to create something like Workaro or some kind of a workflow that will make this call to the track data, and it will reiterate based on the context file value, the mappings value, and then you're going to do a for each to go through all the interactive files one by one. The thing that you have to be aware of that Progress really does not want you to run this every half an hour and keep getting these things. So there is a throttling that will take place. So try to make sure you're not making these calls every half an hour or an hour or multiple times per day. This is something that should only work once per day, or maybe you want to do it once a week or something, but do not run this very often during the day, because that will actually cause automatically a throttling. So make sure of that as well. All right, we're ready for the final piece. I'm going to let me save this one, and I'm going to create another request. It's also a getter, but I want to get one file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paste the format for it. Again, it's the United States data center here in Azure, API inside Sitefinity.com, version 3 data centers. We will need to use the same exact API key that I got in the previous call, but this one, it says exports track data. And now I'm going to actually say download ? file, and I'm going to be passing the file name right in there as well. And of course, the authorization key has to be in there like the previous calls. And usually you make that that into a variable so you don't have to keep copying and pasting your bearer token. Make it a variable, and we will go from there. So let me delete this. Oh, no, I already used it. So let me go ahead and delete this puppy. And I'm going to go get we'll go to get token in here. And I'm going to copy this one more time. Go to the new request. And before I forget, we'll call this one get contacts file. Alrighty. And in this get contact file, I'm going to be pasting this guy. All right, what else do I need to do? Yes, I need to change the API key. Let's steal it from the previous call. There it is. That is my API key. Control C this guy, and instead of API key, I'm going to paste it right in here. The only thing left for me is to go to the previous response, and I need to copy that file right there, contacts-df / blah blah blah, all the stuff to the snappy optimizer in here for the compression for the Parquet file itself. All right, let's go back and remove this file name from right there, and we'll say Control V. And that's it, folks. Now that I have my bearer token and I have constructed my URL for the call, I can say send and drums rolling, please. And the file is not found. What did I do? Let's see. Oh yeah, I moved my clipboard, so it is not a good. Let me take this out. The file name itself is called, yeah, like we saw it, contacts-df / blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's give it another shot. Let's say send this guy. It's still not found. And as you can see, I have the habit of always forgetting the last letter, whether it's a W or a D. Let's go ahead and give it one more shot. All right, this is exactly what I was expecting. Of course, it does look ugly, but no problem. I can click on this button and say save response to a file. We'll say save response to a file. And now the Explorer will come up, and I'm going to say go ahead and save this to a Parquet file in my download folder. For instance, we'll say save. Now I can go ahead and run exactly the same thing, hopefully within the hour, because it's only valid for 1 hour, that token. Otherwise, I'll need to get another token. And I can copy and paste the file equal 1 for the mapping, and then after that, 1 for each one of the iterations as well. And you might get like 30 of them in 1 month. So the good thing is that you don't want to do that stuff manually, but you can try it out first to play around. Just get a couple of Parquet files and see what you can do in things like Snowflake and Databricks and Fabric and so on. In a future video, I definitely intend to use Microsoft Fabric and Databricks as well to be able to show you how to ingest this data and how to see the schema of the data and actually how to curate the data so that you can use it in another model on your own as well. But for right now, I'm very excited this feature is available so I can download my own data instead of having to use the features available in the portal itself. Now I can actually do whatever I want with my own data and create whatever models and predictions that I want. I hope this was useful to you to see how this stuff works. Please, if you like it, like the video and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to see you again in a future video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.